When we start to see that another person is better than us, that's when we want to start doing things we're not supposed to. So does that really mean that's the primary reason why ladies will go for these guys and lay down their lives to be? They're living sacrifices to them.
No, I just think it is a quest to make it. Not that another person is better than you.
Yes, the quest to make it, the quest to belong, the quest to be appreciated, the quest to be seen.
And the quest to have it all. The quest to have it all at the wrong time.
Oh my God. Welcome to your all-in-one podcast show, where we speak to heal, to teach, to inform, and to educate. Get ready as we dive into today's episode. My name is Britney Fonki. You can call me Fonki Speaks, your favorite host. If they would have told me she would accept to be here, I tell you, I will not believe, I will not agree as well. See, I had to go this time to the nitty-gritties of Boya, the nooks and crannies of Boya to go and bring this my guest. She's phenomenal. She's gorgeously looking. She's very skilled. As in, if you think you've ever heard an eloquent, fluent, and very poised speaker before, you haven't. Ladies and gentlemen, she's an award-winning, a professional certified public speaker, a journalist, a voiceover artist, name it, whatever. The communicator par excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, they popularly call her a mic jesty, Mabel Kamz.
Drum rolls.
Welcome, Miss Kamz.
I was about asking, who is the person being introduced? Is there another person here? But
is a person in the body of the person who is sitting here?
Who am I not to accept all the accolades, all the flowers? Britney, thank you for having me. And come on, it wasn't that difficult to get me here, so don't get the viewers thinking.
When you meet somebody who is very busy like this, somebody who is always on the move and always on motion, I really could not imagine that you accept so easily.
What's there not to accept? I mean, this is the unique Britney Fonki, and you're doing well. All in one podcast show. If you discover that you have something within your bowels that you want to share it or radiate it with the world or connect it with the people out there, what's there not to? So I counted it a rare privilege to be here, and today I cleared my schedule. I said everything, Jackpa, and I'm here.
We must be here. Thank you so much. That's really, I'm really honored. I'm privileged because it's always been a dream. Sitting by you is an accomplishment. And today we're actually on episode 17. Episode 17. Almost getting to episode 20. And as we keep going on and on, we keep bringing more phenomenal people, just like a mic jesty today. So today we're going to discuss, right?
Okay.
We are discussing on, before we came on set here, we're talking about so many things, and many things that have been a bug, especially in our society, the decaying things. And I had to bring you as a journalist. I know you see this every day, but then the due diligence has not been given for you to express it that much. Recently there was something that happened. A lady was killed. The parts of her body was removed, and we heard it was from the boys. This is our scammer guys and all whatnot. When you hear such news, how do you feel about it? How do you take it? How do you perceive it?
There is a part of me which wants to get very normal at the mention of informations like that. But there is another part of me which is the feminine side, the mother side, the woman side, which is not going to make me push my gaze towards information like that. And it's going to whip my empathy and my sympathy a lot. I feel bad that ladies are wasted. And I get to ask myself, why? I know that even the Bible says there is a time for everything under the face of the heavens. A time for you to eat, die, live, and all of that. But the question is, how do we rest? How do we quit the stage called life?
Yeah.
That matters a lot. So when I see young ladies, or when I hear stories of young women and ladies whose lives are kissed goodbye pretty too soon, I'm bothered. Because one day I could be a victim.
Yeah. But what do you think? Is it that every lady just being kissed goodbye, like you rightly said. Or is it there's something that is causing them to go to these guys? Remember, the target is not a lady dating a normal guy. We actually know this has been consistent over the years, where we hear of, this is scammers. We call them guest people actually killing their girlfriends numerously. I mean, it's uncountable, but it's consistent. What it could be the problem? Aren't girls really wise enough? Is it that they're not being taught? What could be the problem?
Now, let us first of all tackle the perspective of the world, the broader spectrum of things. In the broader spectrum of things, we are living in a world where it's a little bit chaotic.
Okay.
Chaotic in a sense that everybody is doing one thing or the other. The world is like a raucous market. Everybody is selling or buying something. People want to show themselves. People want to be at the zenith or the pinnacle of success. Now, people are so desperate to make it that they can go at any extreme length to make it. You cannot regulate what people would do for money. And that is where we have internet fraudsters who would rather sit behind their screens, punch their machines, fool people to get money. They can do anything to get money. Now, if we are living in that kind of world, so I think that girls need to be smarter. And there is a lot of morality crusade going out to sensitize women on how they should carry their morality in their hands and their integrity. But then again, things keep happening. Things keep happening. We are all about educating girls and telling them, okay, this is a path where you need to take. This is a route where you need to take and all of that. Women have got to be smart, but you cannot be smart enough. Because there are times where you are dating an internet fraudster and you do not know that you're dating an internet fraudster. Remember, I talked about the spirity, and there are times where you're dating an internet fraudster, you know. But because you are coerced into, meeting up as a woman, as a young lady, you just have to succumb doing it. Because of desperation, this guy gives me the papers, this guy rakes the bag, I'm going to die here. Because you did not see the unforeseen. Because the unforeseen is disguised. You don't know what is coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
You tend to, mingle in that relationship and you tend to succumb to that relationship. And because of peer pressure, you tend to be there.
Isn't it quite fishy where you see a guy, let's say you've known this person for the longest time. In the space of 1 or 2 months, they start flaunting you with money. They come and get a car. What, as a lady, doesn't that ring a bell? Like to tell you that something is not right somewhere. What could this person be doing? Now, I'm really concerned when I see ladies who really, you are aware and you still go inside. Is it that the mentorship is not enough? Is it that they didn't go for these trainings? Is it that they didn't? I really don't know. What could really be the problem? Because it's alarming.
They are ladies, to tackle the first part of the question, which says ladies or men hustling, and you see this men flaunting huge sum or spraying you with huge sums of money. Some women actually do not know. Do you know most of these internet fraudsters have a financial backing? Yes, they use this as a secondary source of earning. They are internet fraudsters who are big businessmen. They have something to show for, and it takes the sixth sense. It takes utter smartness. It takes a lady who has a spirit of discernment to know that whose intellect is like that of a sponge, to be able to decipher that this person is an internet fraudster. But if you are a lady who is very shallow, who does not have depth, you will hardly find out or you hardly discover that the person or your partner is an internet fraudster, popularly known in our local parlance, scammer. For the ladies who know that this person with whom I am is an internet fraudster and I'm deliberate, committed in this relationship, that is where I think the problem is. And there are variant reasons, Britney, I tell you. There are a cocktail of different reasons why they are committed to that relationship. If you don't mind, I'll be able to share some.
Please, sure.
There is peer pressure factor. My friend has this competition. I want to belong.
The sense of belonging.
The sense of belonging, the spirit of belonging. You see, when you are not contented with what you have, you would want to bring your tomorrow to your today.
And that means there will be no tomorrow.
And that means there is absolutely going to be no tomorrow. And even if tomorrow comes, tomorrow is going to be staring at you like that. You have the remote of your life. It's true that we all are architects of our lives, but you want to design it in such a way that you act overboard. Yeah, you act overboard because you're trying to meet up. And there is also a spirit of, impressiveness, is if that grammar even exists.
Yes. You seek to impress.
You want to impress people that do not matter.
They don't care. We don't
People
even
who
care.
do not give an F about your entire existence.
Want to impress them.
You want to impress them. You impress everybody. You want to be the subject. You want to be the face of a trending, as the economy is going and vogue, you want to go and vogue with the economy. That is it. And you also have ladies with no, let me go back to gratitude. I feel a burden to talk about gratitude.
Yes, please talk about it. Yes.
When you are focused looking at what God is doing to the other person or in the life of the other person, it obscures your mentality or your gaze about what God is doing in your life. When you spend time appreciating the hand of God in the life of your neighbor or the other person, it blurs your mind from seeing the finger of God in your life.
So when you don't appreciate or you appreciate, that's when
when you appreciate what the hand of God in the life of another person, it obscures you from seeing the finger of God in your own life.
Okay, please explain further.
Which means when you take out time in envying what God is doing, the successes, the elevation of another person, it is a barricade entirely towards seeing even the timid progress that you're taking.
I love the word you use, envy. When you envy, not really like you admire.
When you envy.
Yes, you envy.
When you envy.
You start getting jealous. You start feeling like, why was it not me?
You're obsessed about what the other person is doing, the remarkable, strides that they are taking every day of their life. Britney has done Britney has launched a book. It's always about Britney, your mind. So it beclouds your sense of appreciation. You don't see what God is doing for you.
That's right.
You don't see it. The fact that you had or you aced that CA in class, that is something to be grateful for. It means that God is telling you that you have a brain like that of a dolphin. You are very much intelligent, and you can use that intelligence to fetch money and to be where Britney is tomorrow.
That's right. So appreciate, admire, appreciate rather than
yes,
envy.
Maybe B has opened a business and is doing this. But how about the fact that you are an author and you are a best-selling author or the best orator within your municipality? You are the talk of town. So these are just glaring examples. I don't know, the other examples that are actually resident in our society, in our daily lives. But the goal here that needs to be articulated is, do not be obsessed about what God is doing for another person, so much so it narrows your thinking or your vision.
It goes back to contentment.
About what God is doing for you.
That's right. So it goes back to contentment.
Contentment, appreciation, gratitude.
Appreciate yourself. For example, for more emphasis, it's yourself. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate what God has done for you.
Exactly.
Appreciate what God is doing and what He will do.
Mm-hmm.
When we start to see that another person is better than us, that's when we want to start doing things we're not supposed to. So does that really mean that's the primary reason why ladies will go for these guys and lay down their lives to be? They're living sacrifices to them.
No, I just think it is a quest to make it. Not that another person is better than you.
Yes, the quest to make it, the quest to belong, the quest to be appreciated, the quest to be seen,
and the quest to have it all. The quest to have it all at the wrong time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You can have it all at a particular location because success too is geographical. I'm going to come back to that. You can have it all at the appointed time at the appointed setting, with the appointed people, and all of that.
Yeah.
At the appointed opportunity.
Talk about the geographical location of success. You said success is geographical. Please just tell us a little bit about that.
Success is geographical. That simply means there is a particular place that norms your success. A particular place that norms your success.
All right.
Very true. There are times God can give you a vision, but it takes discernment to ask maybe the Holy Spirit. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much about God.
Please talk about him.
Because
Please talk about him.
I'm a Christian, and the Bible is my reference for my everyday living to an extent. So there are times God can give you, not even removing the God factor, there are certain times that you may have a passion, a vision to, or a goal, maybe to achieve a business, and that business will not grow in Boya. That business is going to grow in Douala.
Okay.
Success is geographical. You want to know why? Maybe because Boya is too saturated, or Boya is too timid,
That's
or
right.
Boya cannot comprehend the kind of business, or Boya does not have the kind of market that your business is supposed to gravitate towards.
Absolutely. Wow, that's definite. That's a definite truth. Because, I grew up in Tico, and many a times my friends and I will sit down and I talk to them. Why is it that when we are in Tico, we're not productive? Not like I'm saying anything negative about, but there's an atmosphere. When you come to the town Boya, it's more competitive. Everybody's trying to get there. Everybody's trying to belong. Everybody's trying to, have a name. There's always this positive. I call it positive
strive.
Yeah, the positive strive
Yeah.
to want to be there, to do something more positive. So when you get to that atmosphere, you always want to be your best. You can easily flourish because it's a thriving environment.
Yeah.
Why you being in a place where it's stagnant? Nobody's trying to make it, so you're so comfortable, and you keep being mediocre. You keep being the same.
And sometimes, even when you bring in a novel or a groundbreaking idea in that kind of place,
Nobody says
that is not a suiting ground for success. For example, you have mentioned Tico. From the background of first-hand information, I know that you grew up there.
Yes.
So if you bring groundbreaking, beautiful, unprecedented idea in that kind of place, they're going to act as a wet blanket. Do you want to know why? Because they are not used to, groundbreaking or thrilling ideas like that.
Yes.
They will not. They are going to shove it away. So
Like,
success is geographical. While you're aiming or trying to achieve success, you want to ask yourself, which place is going to be that place for me to succeed at? Very important. You can have a befitting idea, but the wrong place is going to, just throw it into the trenches.
spot on, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is very common in today's world is many ladies are more empowered. We hardly hear men's seminar, we hardly hear men empowerment. We say women empowerment. Women are more the ones taught of skills. So men actually don't have this they don't have these privileges that ladies have. But then, why are many ladies the ones losing it? Let's go back. Let's talk about mentorship. I want to know, is it that...
Can I shush you a little?
Shush me.
Let me shush you a little because, you see,
Shush me.
you are asking why there are very limited men empowerment seminars, webinars, and all of that. Reality check, fact check, yes, they are very minimal. Britney, there could be a few that helps in enhancing and making them acquire skill, just a few. But men are naturally wired to work. That was why God created Adam and placed Adam in a garden.
Of course.
Men were naturally configured to work. So they don't need these seminars to trip them, telling them as the man came out, or as a man was birthed from the womb, the man is already wired. The DNA is work. So you don't need to push a man to a certain extreme before the man is.
Yeah, I get it. No, that point I raised was to say, in as much as ladies are more empowered, we see that many of them are still losing their way.
Okay.
This is lack of mentorship. That's just
Okay.
when you talk about mentorship, the importance of having a mentor or being mentored.
Women do not necessarily lose their success route because they don't have mentors. The presence of a mentor in your life is not what is definite or what is going to act as a standard for your success. No. You can have a mentor in your life and still fail woefully. A mentor is not a measuring rod for success. No.
Okay.
There are certain parameters that, okay, you can have a mentor in your life in plain terms and still do not succeed.
Of course.
While you can have a mentor and still succeed. A mentor is somebody who facilitates your success, who shows you the route, who holds your hands, who encourages you, who tames you, who trains you. And in the process of that, there are certain attributes that you have to adopt. And if you do not adopt, if you do not inculcate those attributes, I'm sorry, kiss success a goodbye. Whether a mentor is present in your life or not, Britney.
So, like you said, it's not a parameter to succeed.
Mentorship is not a parameter.
It's not a parameter
for
to
success.
succeed. But if you want to
it
succeed,
facilitates.
it facilitates your success.
It's an advantage.
Okay, so for mentorship, without it being a parameter, you don't need a mentor. So how can you be guided successfully without you getting mentorship?
Britney, the universe is governed by laws. And when those laws are thwarted, the result withers, whether you like it or not. For instance, the principle, there are some fundamental, rudimentary fundamental principles of success. For instance, hard work. For instance, consistency. You have humility. You have skill acquisition, constant knowledge acquisition. Maybe the role of mentorship comes in. You have, what again? You know, maybe book reading, which is still knowledge acquisition and all of that. Maybe on the spot, I may not be able to drag them from far and wide. But those are the basic, the rudimentary principles of success. There are many people who are succeeding without mentors. Likewise, there are people who are succeeding with mentors. And likewise, there are people who have the presence of mentors in their lives and their lives are a total mess, chaotic.
All right, so does this now mean, is it the mentorship problem? Is the mentor problem or the mentee problem?
It is two-way.
Okay.
It could be the mentorship problem and the mentee problem. First of all, let me talk on the mentorship problem first. When you have a mentorship relationship, first of all, mentorship is a relationship.
That's right.
Between you and somebody who acts as a godfather, somebody who acts as an umbrella, somebody who acts as a guide, a guard, a disciplinarian, and everything.
Counselor.
Somebody who acts as a yardstick, and that person is called a mentor. And you who is being mentored is called a mentee or a protege. When the purpose of mentorship is defiled, I think the progress is obscured. Britney, every day in my DM, hardly will a week go by without me having people rush into my DM or scratch into my DM. Miss Kamz, I want to be like you. Please, can you mentor me? Now, when you come to me with that mantra, I want to be like you, I'll act so polite. I have moral compass. I'll act so polite. Come on. You know, the humble part of me will be like, yeah, don't worry, we're going to get there. Oh, tell me about you and all of that. But I am never going to take you serious. You want to know why? When you come with that mindset of, I want to be like you, I'm not Jesus Christ. I can never act as auxiliary. I'm not auxiliary Jesus. You know what? You're placing me in a spot where you're telling me that you need to be a God. I need mud. I need whatsoever thing that God used in creating another human being, and I create my replica. Britney, I can never have my replica. But if you come to me, it means you want to talk like me. You want to act crazy like me. You want to, when we're coming here, I removed my wig.
That's right.
I held my wig. You want to act crazy like me. You want to have my comportment, my personality. It is totally impossible.
And you don't take them seriously.
You cannot have my aura. But when you come to me with the mindset that I admire maybe your successful stride, I admire where maybe God has placed you, and please, can you help me be successful? Can you help me hold my hands and help me achieve my goal? Britney, I will make sure I don't sleep. And I make sure that if I am a work in progress, I make sure you are behind or in front of me or side by side with me. The first thing is the purpose of the mentorship. Some people get into mentorship because they have seen their mentors. I like the way you dress. How on earth can you like the way I dress? My dress is not going to mentor you. That is just packaging.
But it is attracting the mentee to you.
It is what should attract the mentee, is not the way I dress. I could dress utterly pleasantly, but at the end of the day, I mislead you.
Yes. But then they only know about you misleading them when you start mentoring them. So, is it that you don't accept them because they appreciate you, or you accept maybe you
I don't accept them because of their motive. There is something called motive.
Yes.
And let me tell you.
That's it.
Your voice, your mouth, out of the abundance of the mind. I'm not talking about the heart. Out of the abundance of the mind. This is my quote, the mouth speaketh. If you are coming to me to say, I want to be like you, I admire you, I want to go to the places. Some people even go as far as saying, I want to go to the places where you've gone to. It means that is what you have been, translated, or that is the place where your mind has harbored for so long. And the words are just a fallout of what your mind has been pregnant with. So I think the purpose of mentorship is very, very important.
I think this message should go particularly to the people who want to be mentored. It should go to them, because many of us who want mentorship want to just come and we just want to identify, not really like we want to be mentored. For example, everybody wants to identify with Mabel Kamz because Mabel Kamz climbs on big stages. She is a journalist. She has created a brand for herself. She's now a brand already. So everybody wants to be like, no, this is my mentor, right? Because your mentor appears well.
Now
they sound well. Yes, please go on.
That defiles the reason for mentorship. It defiles it. That should not be the raison d'etre of mentorship. It should never be the reason why you should want to submit. See, mentorship plays an integral role in success. Mentorship. There are people whose lives have never been the same because of the deposition of a mentor, one person. It's a relationship. It's not just, this person is my mentor, just as passive as it used to sound. There is a seed that person is depositing into you. It could be positive and it could be negative. There are people whose perspective have refused to be challenged, whose perspectives or narrative have refused to be challenged because they say, my mentor taught me that, from the background of their mentors. There are people who have not even gotten married because of what their mentor told them. There are people who are living a particular kind of,
that's toxic.
The lists are endless. And there are people who are chasing successes in a particular way because of the strength that they saw in their mentor or the way their mentors have configured them. What am I all about? I'm all about the fact that one person can change the complexion of your life entirely. One person can deposit something that you will not be able to uproot.
As you're saying this, I'm queuing into everything you're saying, because in my life, I've always seen people who actually got the wrong mentors. Why? Like you said, the wrong reasons. They had mentors who maybe exploited them, mentors who wanted to use them rather than build them, mentors who wanted to make the most out of them for their own personal interest and gain. And it made me streak. I did not want to be mentored for a long time. I scared away from mentorship. But then, as you say now, one person can change the trajectory of your life. They can really transform it positively or negatively. When I submitted to mentorship for the person I'm submitting now, my spiritual father, there's something I discovered which I had never known. Mentorship is an input. It's like you are pouring in. You pour in yourself so much into that person. It's a responsibility on its own. Many of us say we want to be mentored. The first question is, are you ready? Are you ready to say you will submit to the person?
Anyways, I was going to come there because since we touched the mentor, I said I was going to
That's the
talk
mentee.
the mentee
Yes,
and the mentorship as a
Yes,
whole.
yes.
So the reasons for the mentorship, another reason could be incompatibility. Let me shock you, Britney. Not every person who is successful should be your mentor.
That's right, of course.
Compatibility.
Of course.
There are some factors that are supposed to be scrutinized. What is the temperament of that person? I've once had a very choleric mentor, and I'm an extreme sanguine. That mentorship process crashed. And then when I went back to the place of prayers, I discovered that that is not the place. Am I saying that an outgoing person cannot mentor another outgoing? No, I'm just saying compatibility. There is something that should click.
If it doesn't, don't go.
There is something that should click. Don't just say because this person is successful. There is a lot of discernment. There is a lot of, another thing is study the life of that person.
Before you go in.
Because you can, from every mentorship relationship, just like every other relationship, they can either deposit or you drag out. You can either outsource or they input. It's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
For some, they are inputting and they are outsourcing. Your mentor is inputting and you're outsourcing. For others, your mentor is not inputting, you're outsourcing. For others, you're not outsourcing, your mentor is inputting. So whatever dynamics that happens in the variant kind of relationship which exists between the protégé and the mentor.
Let's talk about this, Miss Kamz. What about the people who come from mentorship? So let's say they want you as a mentor. With this a space of like very short space of time, they now translate the mentorship because you become familiar with them. They have access to you and it turns to disrespect. For example, they were calling you Miss Kamz, so they start calling you Kamz, and very soon they start calling you sis. They start calling you. How do you take that? One of the things I'm really scared of. I know many people who come to be like Miss Britney, can you mentor me? And it shifts from Miss Britney to Britney, from Britney to Brit, from Brit to sis. Sis to Sherry. What do you say about that?
It depends so much on the mentor. When you look at disrespect in a mentorship relationship, I think 80% falls back to the mentor, what the mentor has, what the mentor has actually configured or laid out, the plan, the recipe that was implanted in that mentorship agreement or mentorship relationship. What is this big grammar all about? I have a personal assistant. I haven't seen anybody who is as close to me, beside my mom and my dad, like my personal assistant. But every day I tell him, I say, you know what? As I smile, you should know when I switch. I can be a cocktail of different things. I'm smiling now, but the next minute after a phone call, I'm like, Carlson, have you done this? Have you done this? And immediately he switches. What is the maturity of the mentor and the mentee too? Sometimes even the mentees, when you're mentoring people, you mentor, it comes with every brand of bullshit. People who have awkward backgrounds, people who have very crippling morality, people who can't leave their house with zero, with moral decadence and all of that, weird thoughts. You are the one to put setting or to regulate that relationship. How many times do you call the mentee and you put them in check? Hey, I think you are going overboard. I think you're crossing the line. I could be young, you could be older than I am, but I still remain your mother hen. I'm still your mentor. So you should be able to know when to put a clear cut to things. So I think if you always and consciously redefine the relationship and constantly put the mentee in check, especially for those who are losing their sense of consciousness, it's really going to be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's really good. As you said, it's for them. It's 80% is of the mentor to set those boundaries. I thing is setting a boundary. And what I do is I don't even accept mentorship. I say, I'll coach you. The disrespect is too much. Even if you try to set the boundaries, like you said, when you set those boundaries, you just let them know this is the line you don't have to cross. Yes, so that we clarify this disrespect and this kind of familiarity being misinterpreted to be like you guys on the same level. It's not about pride, but I think it's just boundaries that we set those boundaries. As we're rounding up and we're wrapping up with the session, I just want to hear you say, like, what is that particular thing that you would want to say about ladies in respect to this mentorship stuff? Like, ladies in respect to mentorship, in respect to empowerment, in respect to whatever thing was spoken here. Going back to them dating because of those particular reasons you mentioned. What are the solutions you think can be given to those problems we identified?
I think sometimes I wonder what the world would be like, Britney, without the place of women. And it is utter and sheer ignorance that women are allowing their lives to be wasted because of some degree of conspiracy, envy, the sense of belonging, and all of that. Women, if you understand, the day I understood my power, not just as Mabel Kamz, but as a woman, I decided to own my space. And I told myself, and this is what I want to tell every woman out there, this crowd is too big. Britney, all you need to do is identify a spot and fly so high. The top is never too crowded. Dear women, the top, Britney, is never too crowded.
Never.
And I think when God created every other thing, there was a comma. But when God created a woman, there was a full stop. You are completion.
Nothing adds after a woman.
you are completion. Nothing adds after a woman. You are a woman because you have an incubator. You can incubate anything. You are a woman. A womb is an incubator, something that stores. What is it? We are not, the storage part of us is not for envy, jealousy, and whatsoever. It's for you to unleash your elevator. Your elevation. There is an elevation inside of you. There is a spirit in that womb. Please look inside your beautiful inner self and tell yourself, I am a woman. No doubt you were made out of bone while a man was made out of mud. Have you ever thought of that?
Wow, you are made out of bone and not mud. That's solid.
And you were taken from the side so that you will not be at the back. A woman was not taken from the back, from the side.
I think that deserves an applause.
So
Wow.
so while the man is walking, your place is not the back. You are not supposed to be relegated in anything for no reason. Be the woman that you are. Eat everything and take every day as it comes. Do not pressure yourself.
Absolutely. Do not
Do
pressure
not.
yourself.
You have a womb.
Thank you, Miss Kamz. I think this part already is boiling up. She'll come back for a woman particular session. Well, we're talking just about women. And thank you so much. I think the take home message is that you are completion as a woman. When God created a woman, there was a full stop, not a comma. And you were taken out from the bone and not the mud. That's a powerful one. Thank you so much, Ms. Kamz. When we close the All in One podcast show, we always have the most interesting part of the show, which is they call it magic box session. Our magic box session is where we get to ask questions, or we present questions to our guests and they pick it and read it to us and then answer to the camera. So it's a very interesting part. When you pick one, maybe you did not give us.
Did you hear my laugh?
The right answer. I don't give us the right answer. You answer another one. So these are 3 questions. You just pick anyone, you read it to us, and then you answer.
So if the guest is not willing to answer,
you pick another one.
Okay. So what does a guest say if they're unwilling to answer or pass?
The guest will just smile to the camera.
Okay.
Say, okay.
All right. I'm just going to give a very fat laugh. So. When
you
start?
you are. You can pick your question.
Okay.
You read it out loud.
Guess what we have here? Anyways, not to burst your bubbles. If you could be an animal, which will you be and why? An elephant, of course.
Why?
An elephant is so prominent in size. And an elephant is that animal which, triggers an earthquake. When the elephant passes, there is no way you won't notice that
Wow,
elephant.
it's my first time to hear that. Well, it's interesting.
So it's the most prominent
Thank you.
animal. So I want to be so prominent. I want to be the elephant in my day-to-day life, in everything. When I pass, they know.
Okay, and
It's an elephant jaw.
It's
just by one, footstep, there is an earthquake. The ground is
Wow.
shaky.
That's her mic gesture for you all. When she passes, I think we're already feeling the ground breaking already. Thank you so much for coming to today's session. I'm happy to have you. Thank you for gracing our studio. This episode was pioneered by First September Studios, produced by Colonel Grace, the epic gospel artist. And thank you so much for queuing into our session. Please like, subscribe, share, and please drop a comment as we see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We hope you learned something new that will help you at one point in life. Please do us a favor by sharing this episode with your friends and follow us on all social media platforms as Britney Fonki. From us to you. See you in the next episode. Bye.